Yeah, I get it. Sometimes making choices are hard. Apurture B7 or the Nanlite Bulb 10C. Let's talk about them. Internet, welcome back. It's your boy Robert Teegarden here with another video. Today we are talking about the difference between these two powerful bulbs. We are talking about the Apurture B7 versus the Nanlite Bulb 10C. If you've been watching this channel for a while, you've been seeing these things in action. I've got an Apurture B7 over here, and for some particular reason, even though I have two of each bulb, I put a Nanlite Bulb 10C behind me in this little like plant light up situation that's got going on over there. Both of these things are pretty great in terms of their use case scenario, but there are some key differences that I think you're going to be happy that I told you about. So if you're into buying something like this, stick around to the end. I'll give you what my recommendation is in terms of the use cases. Let's talk about the things that are similar with these two bulbs. Now, the bulb and the Apurture B7 are both LED smart bulbs that are used to replace practicals and or create scenarios in your scene. Both of them are RGBWW, and they've got a pretty significant Kelvin range of 2700 to 7500 Kelvin for the bulb and 2700 all the way up to 10,000 Kelvin for the B7. In addition to those things, both bulbs promote a ton of features in terms of different types of lights that you would be going on from a paparazzi to bad bulbs or bad TV or some sort of lightning situation, all of those things that you would expect from a LED RGBWW situation. And they are both promoting Bluetooth connectivity via the app, whether that's the Sidious link for the B7 or the Nanlite capable technology that they've got going on. I always forget what their app is called, but you can control them both with apps. Now, if you've ever been around these things, you realize that at the end of the day, they can get pretty warm, which is why they both have reasonable heat sink technology that's dissipating a ton of heat that's going on for these things, because for the most part they're running throughout the day because they're plugged into some sort of power, and power is really where one of the main differences for these bulbs is concerned. So let's start talking about the differences. And one of the main differences that we see here for these particular bulbs is that the Nanlite Bulb 10C has no internal battery associated with it. And that's really kind of the biggest differentiator between these two things. There is a USB Type-C that is a little deceiving because most people would think that that's to charge some sort of internal battery, but it is not. It's actually to run an FP battery sleeve that attaches to this bulb via USB Type-C. There is also a AC/DC conversion little bulb holder thing like this, and you kind of screw that thing on like you would expect, and you can put this thing as a magnet in a variety of places, and the magnet is surprisingly strong, and it's hard to take this thing off, especially on these like little steel hangers I have on the wood all over the place. So it definitely is not going anywhere once it sticks. That being said, you do have to plug this thing in or have it in a live AC/DC socket. In order to make it work, there is no way of having it be attached to anything. However, if you are a psychopath like myself and you have one of each trying to figure out which one you like, you could actually take this kind of dummy socket, plug the B7 in, which does have internal power, and we'll talk about that in a second, and you can have this thing kind of running around wherever you want to without any wires associated to it, because it is 2023, and you know, we're trying to get rid of these wire things here. Now, continuing on from the power tip, there's actually no way of externally charging this Apurture B7. You have to have it plugged into some sort of socket. Now, whether you've purchased the larger kind of connectivity set with a bunch of these things with the case that charges them, or you just have them plugged into a socket over here, there is no way of USB Type-C or power bricks or any of those sorts of things for you to charge this thing up. You just need to make sure that it's there, right? So again, kind of picking up where that power is concerned and summarizing what's going on, there is no way to use this without it being plugged into a power source. And if you're looking to use this without some sort of cable or power hookup, you have to charge it into a socket before you use it. Now, internal power for the Apurture B7 is rated to be about 20 hours, and that seems to be pretty standard for what I've seen in the field in my use case scenarios. But there you go. One of the biggest differentiators between these two bulbs is the way in which you use them from a power standpoint and internal batteries. So pick your poison in terms of what use case is going to benefit you the most. Some other ancillary things that you've got going on with these deals, there is a stepless dimmable increase decrease on the B7 and stepped increases on the Apurture 10C. This isn't really anything that I've found to be something that is bothering me per se. I don't think that the incremental increases here is going to be really doing anything from an exposure standpoint to me, so that's kind of a moot point, at least for me, but there is stepless here and stepped increases on the 10C. And lastly, I know I've been going back and forth in terms of AC DC for the two of them, but to be very specific about this, what we see is that the B7 can accept both AC and DC power, where the 10C can only accept AC power but multi-voltage. So there you go. There's really not a ton that are differentiating these two bulbs in terms of what they've got going on. But for me, the thing that I've noticed the most and what I've interfaced with the most is the fact that this one has power and this one does not have any internal power. I do, however, like these little Nanlite ASMBA E27s, the magnetic attachment here, and they also have that FP to USB Type-C battery connector on the 10C as well. So there's a bunch of options here. Now, again, I'm kind of weirdo with this sort of thing, and I bought them both, and I use them both in different capacities for different reasons. And the attachments that come on the Nanlite have proven to be very powerful to me in both using them on the Nanlite and with the Apurture B7. So maybe your case is that you get this Apurture B7 because it has internal power and you can use it in a variety of use case scenarios, and then get the Nanlite accessories for you to be able to use them in a particular way that suits whatever you're trying to do here from using them in a practical standpoint. You don't necessarily need a lamp, but you can kind of magnetically attach them to a bunch of different things that are within your scene. So there you have it. That's actually probably my recommendation for you, is buy the B7, get the Nanlite attachments, and then utilize these things wherever you need to, and just figure out a way of charging this thing either before you get on set or have some other option where you can charge these things maybe being hooked up to this Nanlite attachment with the AC/DC plugged into the wall. Also, AC/DC, let's keep it rocking. Ladies and germs, that's it for this particular video. If you like the video, please like the damn video, and if you haven't already, subscribed to this channel for more valuable options and to be alerted when brand new videos are coming out. If you dig this thing, leave me a comment in below. If you're looking for more information about these two particular bulbs, or anything for that matter, I'd love to hear from you guys. It's always a pleasure being able to communicate with you and chat in the comments. So with that in mind, this is Teegarden with another video in the can. I will see you guys next week. Enjoy it. Peace.